Could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the Week 11 edition of the LTN Exclusives Kickback. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So, 10 weeks in the books. What a week 10 was. I told you Thanksgiving is when things really get real. For the survivor pool, right around week 9 is when things get real. When there's not as many players, it could be over already. But this was by far and away the biggest survivor pool that we've ever had. And so by virtue of that, as it gets bigger and bigger, this is around the time where shit starts to happen, because now you're running out of definites. You're running out of the teams that you trust. And as we know in this league, anything can happen. We went into week number 10 with 10 participants. That thing was cut in half in week 10's action. So let's start the night off taking a look at the survivor pool as we add that to the screen. We take a look at what transpired, man. First of all, before we get to all of the good soldiers that we lost this past week, I just want to say congratulations first and foremost to those who survived and are remaining as we head into week 11. And I also want to say hell of a job to those of you who made it all the way to week 10. Okay, it's not easy. As you can see, this thing started with, I think, 61 players. I think I counted again today. We started 61 deep, and we're now down to 5. And we were at 23 after like week 5 or 6. So it doesn't take much. These things, they happen quick. One slip up, you can do everything right, and you slip up once and you get got. So just wanted to say congratulations to those who made it this far, and to those who just got eliminated. Hell of a job, but you fell short. Daywalker took the Atlanta Falcons, and I told everyone eventually you've got to stop following the teams that have gotten you where you got, right? It's been easy to follow the Giants and the Cardinals and the Panthers, but at some point you have to stop doing that. They're going to beat somebody. Well, now the Cardinals have Kyler Murray back. That's not a definite win anymore. Now, the Falcons were there. They were literally a 3rd and 10 stop away, and they had Kyler Murray essentially dead to rights and let him out from winning that game. Unfortunately, Daywalker didn't get it done because the Falcons did not get it done. He has been eliminated. Media Truth took Cincinnati, and that was the team that got a lot of people eliminated in week number 10. The Bengals at home against Houston. I mean, if I were in it, I probably would have gone in that direction. Maybe if I had my Dallas, and I don't think I would have had Dallas. I hadn't used them yet, and I probably wouldn't have used them quite yet. That would have been the week to use Dallas against the Giants, but considering that he had already used his Dallas in week 2, Cincinnati was probably one of the better places to go for a dub. Maybe the Steelers. I mean, the Packers stink, but that one even came down to the wire. But that might have been another option. Bengals, Texans they've been playing such good football. It's hard to just assume they were going to win that game, but you expect Cincinnati to beat the Texans at home. I get it, man. That's rough. There's the one I probably would have taken if I had already used my Dallas, was the Steelers. They're going to make you sweat, but they usually beat teams that they're supposed to beat. And the Packers are a team that they were supposed to beat. D. Malone got it right. Packers get him through to week number 11. Mike Lowry took the Chicago Bears. That's always dicey. This is why shit gets really interesting as you get past week 9, because now you got to start relying on teams like Chicago. That's a great feeling, though, and we talked about this on the Thursday night overtime. He was like, man, I took Chicago. That was not something that I was too fond of, but you got it done, and then you got to kick back and relax on Sunday. You didn't have to worry about the stress of, can I make it through to the next week? You already did your work on Thursday night. Now, you sweated on Thursday night, but you got it done. So he advances to week 11. Unfortunately, Commander E cannot say the same. Cincinnati, as I mentioned, that was the team that got most of the participants who did not survive. Unfortunately, Commander E met his demise due to the Cincinnati Bengals. Dallas getting it done against the New York Giants for BB, getting BB through to week number 11. Kevin, the PRF, Cincinnati, again. What more can I say? The Bengals, that's a tough way. I mean, Tyler Boyd, it's really about Tyler Boyd. If he catches that football, Cincinnati's going to win that game. Billy Bronco, we had jokes for Billy Bronco at the beginning of the year. It wasn't going well for, his team. But I'm not sure. I think Billy Bronco is actually a Commanders fan. There's two Broncos. Bronco Kid, I think, is the one that is a Broncos fan. But Bronco, we made fun of anybody with Bronco in their name, with the start to the season and giving up 70. But here he is, 11 weeks in, still standing strong. Got Dallas, who got him through to week number 11, and Billy Bronco is one of 5 still remaining. Cody. Unfortunately, my favorite name in this entire pool is not going to be making the trip to week 11. Cincinnati got him hemmed up. And then Dallas got juiced through to week number 11. Again, the Cowboys were probably the safest pick. If you had them available, they were going to be the one to get you through. So D. Malone, Mike Lowry, BB, Bronco, Billy, and Juice is all that remains in the Soul Survivor pool. Good luck to all of you. And so let me explain this to you right now. This is how I'm going to do it. I haven't done this before, but I don't want this to end in nobody getting money, okay? Usually, if we get down to the final, 3 guys or participants, and they're all eliminated. So that happened one year. And the house, which is me, gets the money at that point. Nobody survived, okay? Generally, that's how it goes. I don't want that to be the case. So here's what I've come up with. I think this is a good way to do it so that you guys, you lasted this long. If you don't find a way to get it done, and hopefully one of you just remains the sole survivor. This is why it's called the sole survivor. Someone's supposed to be standing, the last participant standing. But if somehow all of you don't make it in the same week, what we're going to do is we're going to split it amongst the remaining participants and the house. Okay, so essentially, let's say it's 2 of you left and you both pick the same team, or you just both pick, different teams, but they both lose and you're both eliminated. The money would be split 3 ways. So the survivor pool is $1,220. It's $1,220. We determined that already. That's the prize money. So it'd be split 3 ways. $1,220 would be split 3 ways between the 2 participants and the house. That's how I think I'm going to do it. So if it's 5 of you, like there is now, and all 5 of you are eliminated in week 11, then it would be split 6 ways. Okay. So that's how we're going to do this. And obviously, if you're the sole survivor, you get the whole $1,220. That's what you're aiming for at this point. But I want to make it so everybody that lasts, even if there's an elimination week where everybody's done, you're walking away with something. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. So that's what I've come up with. That's how we're going to moving forward. So good luck to the remaining participants. You've done a hell of a job. I've never seen a survivor pool last past week 12, past Thanksgiving. So we're heading in that direction. There's 5 of you left. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right. So that thing's been cut in half. Just like that. Just like that. All right. See. So the weekly pick'em pools. Well, we'll head next. 90, we're good right there. And let's take a look at this real quick. So I told you guys that you should just leave. This is usually how I go about situations. When there's a lion and he's asleep, just leave him alone. Okay? Just leave him be. Don't bother him. Don't poke him. Don't provoke him. Just leave him alone. I was asleep. I wasn't bothering anybody. And then 2 weeks ago, bet the board, talked all kinds of trash. And he woke me up. Now, last week, I was pissed. I was demoralized. I made excellent picks last week, and you can't convince me otherwise. And for some crazy reason, because the NFL is crazy, I didn't get it done. And every game that I thought was a tremendous pick, I lost by a field goal or something crazy late in the ball game. And it shit happens. Like the Tampa Bay game, that one stuck out like a sore thumb last week with the Texans, or 2 weeks ago rather now, in week 9. Like that's one I had to have, and I thought I had it, and then I didn't. CJ Stroud said, no, you don't. And so thought I made some great picks then, but I was determined. I got it done this week. First time this season, I won the damn weekly pick'em. It's been a long time coming. You want to talk about disappointing? Like the Bills have been one of the most disappointing teams in the league. I've been really disappointed this season. We're 10 weeks in, and I'm just winning my first weekly pick'em. Are you kidding me? But it's been that type of year, and I also got to give credit where credit is due. You guys have been making excellent picks. I mean, I've been to Monday night like 3 or 4 times, and you guys have boxed me out, you know, or rather Sunday night. I haven't made it to Monday night, but maybe twice this season, because I've been really good with the numbers in terms of the score. Like even the score I had 36. It was if the Broncos had just, like if the Bills had just not scored and the game ended 21-15, I would have hit the points right on the head, 36. I've had it on the head the last 2 weeks prior to Monday. So I've been really, really good on the points. But, man, I was due. I was long overdue. And I finally got it done. And I feel good. Like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, so to speak. Now, let's just go and see what happens. Let's keep making picks. Keep stacking these types of weeks on top of each other. This is what I do. I win, right? So I'm not shocked that I did it. I'm just shocked it took me this long. But now I expect to get hot and win, 3 out of the next 4 out of the next 5. Like I'm due. And that's not good for all of you, just so you know. And you have Bet the Board to thank for all of this. I was asleep. I wasn't going to put up a fight. And now I'm here, and I'm not going away without a fight now. Now you got to keep looking over your shoulder, because here I come. So, yay, I'm on the board. Finally. Let's get to winners and losers and see how the week went. Finally, I can say this. Now, he's still in first place. Smack City has been smacking us around, right? But he had a rough go of it. And that's what you're going to need in order to get back in. I mean, he had a 4-game lead on second place last week. I mean, he was getting out of control. He was trying to run away with this thing. Like, we don't do that. I've never had one of these where the winner, won by like 5 or 6, like it wasn't close. These things usually come down to the last week or two. You might not have to sweat it out in the final week, but with 2-3 weeks left, you got to make quality picks or somebody can sneak up on you. He was trending in the direction of, running away with this thing. Now, again, there's a lot of football left. And as you can see, all it takes is 1-2 weeks of not being at your best, and shit could turn around on you fast. But anyway, I got to make some adjustments. I did forget to do this real quick, so I'm going to do it right now with you guys. Coop is no longer in third place, right? He's just one of us. He's just a mortal now. He's It feels like Coop's been hanging on forever. Well, he's no longer in third place. JCam 99 is in second now. Well, he was in second. He remains in second. And Soul is in third, all by their lonesome. So that is the setup. Now let's go to work. Let's take a look at what transpired. We start with, oh, sorry, I didn't pull the sheet up. I am so sorry. Let me pull that up. All right, there you go. You guys should be able to view it now. I apologize. All right, sorry. So let's see. Coop, let's start with first place. Smack City has been holding it down for quite a bit now. And he was doing, maybe I need to keep showering him with praise. Because last week I'm like, man, this guy has been awesome. He's not letting up. And if this continues, it won't be close. Maybe I need to keep saying that. Maybe I need him to believe, that he is the guy. And he needs to start believing his own bullshit, because he had a rough go of it. And these happen, right? These types of weeks happen. If you do this long enough, they're going to be weeks. That's been the surprising part, is there hasn't been any of these weeks for Smack City. He went 7-7. I've been waiting for one of these weeks from him. Waiting, and finally we got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In a normal week, that would probably be in Piss Cup territory. Not this week. Not this week. But 7-7 is out of the ordinary for him. He's still in first place. That's how bad he was kicking our ass. He went 7-7, hit the Mendoza line, and he's still the only person that's cracked 100 wins this season. And he's still in first place by 2 games. So there's that. Okay. Shout out to Smack City for the consistency. JCam 99 got into second place last week. And just for reference, let's go through the color from last week, right? Real quick. Coop and Soul were tied for third. JCam 99 was in second. Smack City was in first. We had 2 Piss Cup recipients, Big Time and Mr. HTTR. And Ricky D. Hustle was the high point man a week ago. All right. So fast tracking back to current time, JCam 99 holds on to second place with a 9-5 week. And so by virtue of that, he closes the gap on Smack City by 2 games, because Smack City obviously went 7-7. He went 9-5. So he closes that gap by 2 games, cuts that deficit in half. He was down 4 games last week. He's now down 2 games. So shit getting tight. And, before you can catch up to first, you got to catch up to third and second place first. So I've got my eyes on those guys. I can't catch first place if I can't catch them, right? Generally, I like to just say, I'm looking at first place, because if I catch him, I'm going to catch y'all. But with first place seeming unattainable at, one point for me, all right, let's hit a realistic goal. Let's see where third place is, and let's see if we can't get there first. Okay. So that's where I am with mine. But JCam, man, he's continuing to put together some really strong weeks here as he approaches 100 wins on the season. And then Soul has been pretty consistent throughout as well. Coop and Soul have been right there in that third place, second place window all season long, it feels like. And Soul continues to be really solid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 9-5 week for Soul, similar to JCam 99, with Smack City losing 7 games. You cut into that deficit a bit. So Smack City still up by 2 on second place. JCam 99 up on Soul by 3 now, though. So good work by Soul as Soul approaches 100 wins on the season as well. And again, for references, usually you want to be north of 62%. If you're doing this at a high clip, you want to be north of 62% when it's all said and done. When the season's done and you tally up your wins and losses, you want to be higher than 62%. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to all the rest of the picks on the week. Coop, who was tied for third, as you can see, no longer tied for third. Why? Because Coop had a rough go of it. And Coop's been struggling. I think he had a rough week last week. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had a rough go of it last week. I think he might have had a rough week. Not so much. So, yeah, last week and this week, he's had a rough go of it, and that's why he's no longer in the top 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 8 and 6. Not terrible, but it's not good. 9 and 5 is the best. To me, the worst you should have done. A lot of 8 and 6s, which is okay. It's okay, but 9 and 5 is what you should have been, with all the upsets and all the things you didn't see coming. 9 and 5 is what you should have been striving for. All right, 9 and 5. Silver V, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 and 5 for Silver V. Red Ball Manders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 and 5 for Red Ball Manders, excuse me. Sundi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoa. Let me count that again. That's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yikes. And damn, Sundi must have been doing well to be at 90 wins with a 9-piece and only 5 wins in week number 10. We're just going to go ahead and drop a little piss on Sundi's nameplate here. Just in the event that 9-piece is good enough for the piss cup. That feels pissy right there, if you ask me. We'll see if that's enough. I can't imagine somebody dropping it down, because that's a piss cup ultra. That 9 is bad. 10 is piss cup ultra. I can't see anybody doing that. You might have friends. Daywalker, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 and 4 for Daywalker. That's a really damn good week. Nate P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whew. Just missed out on some piss, Nate P. 808 Skins fan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 and 7. Split the difference. Chalupa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Split the difference at 7 and 7. Twin D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Twin D was, and I compliment. Maybe I need to keep the compliments up, because I literally complimented Twin D last week on his picks, and then he drops an 8-piece on me this week. Hey, Twin D, keep it up. Smack City, keep it up. Okay, you guys are awesome. Keep it up. Stacks 410, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 8 and 6. In Your Gym, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 and 5. Not bad for In Your Gym, who's having a really solid campaign. Mike Jink, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 9 and 5 for Mike Jink. Not bad there. Tiffany, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just say something to Mike Jink. That's my guy. Shout out to my guy, Mike Jink, if you out there watching. Tiffany is Mike Jinks's, and I don't think he minds me saying this, is his fiance. And he's like, last week, she was on the hook for some piss, and she just got bailed out by Mr. HTTR and Big Time. And he was like, man, I know I taught her better than that. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, you taught her pretty damn well, almost to the point where she's trying to beat your ass. She's got you by a game right now. Look, I know at some point the understudy is supposed to overtake the teacher. Not yet, though, right, Mike Jink? Not yet, right? Anyway, I'm keeping an eye on that. Tiffany better not beat you, is essentially what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying to you. And she better not beat you. And the only reason you're probably as close as you are, because she had a rough week last week. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Walt 260. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 7, split the difference there. Rough week for Walt, who's having a really good season, actually. Young Mello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, split the difference there. 7 and 7. Ouch. Kevin the PRF, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Kevin was killing it in 95. I mean, hell, if Kevin just goes 7 and 7, well, what did he do? He did go 7 and 7. Didn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he goes 9 and 5 is what I meant. He'd be at 97 wins. He'd be right in, right in position, right behind third place, 1 game back of third. But had a rough go of it. It happens. Greg Giants 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 5. Greg Giants 10, man. Quietly putting together a strong campaign at 96 and 54. Big Baller Blake, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 and 6. For Big Baller Blake, who's also, doing a really good job. Got to get these picks in on time. Boss Man, I told y'all the story about Boss Man last week, and how I fried him up when he was giving me his picks. I said, boss, as I was putting his picks in, I said, this is a 6 or 7 loss sheet, bro. This is bad. And he said, watch what I tell you. I'll be right most of the time. And I'm like, no, you don't. I said it to myself. I didn't want to argue with him. So my wife calls me a right fighter, right? Meaning that even if it's not important, I have to make sure that all the facts are correct. It's like I have OCD when it comes to that. It's not one of my better qualities, I admit, but I got it from my dad. What can I say? He is one of those guys that if he's right, he's going to let you know he's right. And if he's not right, he's going to argue. At least I don't have that trait. Even when I'm not right, or even when he's not right, he's going down to the very bitter end. He just can't let it sit with the fact. Like, I called him up to fry him up after these picks went sour, like I told him, right? Because the part that got me, I was going to leave him alone because I told you we don't really talk trash to each other. The part that got me was he took it a step too far. He was like, on Thursday night when the Panthers and the Bears were playing, I told him the Panthers are going to lose this game. They can't score. And he's like, well, that defense is going to shut the Bears down and this, that, and the third. I'm like, you're not wrong. Their defense is really good. But the Bears are going to win the game. That was the only point that I was trying to convey. And he was like, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you what, I've been right most of the time. I'm usually right. And I'm going to call you after they win. Excuse me, sir? Okay, I'll be waiting for that phone call. That phone call never came. Then he had the audacity to say, you didn't see the call that I called? I thought he was joking. He was serious. Bro, you didn't call me. I don't have a missed call. And I literally waited to make sure that you didn't call me. You didn't call me. Okay. So I fried him up. And even when I called to fry him up, he tried to justify the picks. Bro, just sit in your stink. You were shitty last week. Just sit in it. Just let it marinate. You stink. And you've been stinking all year long. So I had to give him the work. I mean, I gave him the business. Talking all kinds of shit to him. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. He got an 8-piece this week. Whew. Panthers, Patriots, Ravens, Bengals, Titans, Chargers, Falcons, and he proceeded to talk about, and they were all close games. He's not wrong, but you were on the wrong side of them. And I tried to warn you that you were going to be on the wrong side of them, and he didn't want to listen. Pretty safe to say he will not be defending the crown this year. I think that's where we've gotten to at this point now. It's all about pride. You know, when you get to that point of the season where you know you can't make the playoffs, now you're playing for pride. That's pretty much the point of the season where Boss Man is at this point. 15 games back of first place. He's playing for pride at this point. I had a 10-4 week. I needed that badly. And just like that, I can actually see first place. Barely. Still 9 games back, but it's not double digits anymore. But my focus now is, can I get to third place? Third place is sitting there at 98, I believe. Yeah, 98. So I'm 6 games back of third place. I feel good about where I sit from how I started and the lack of consistency this year to only be 6 games back of third place. I got a fighting chance. And I told y'all can thank. I'm telling you, you're going to see me in the rear view here shortly. And you have no one to thank but bet the board for this. I was asleep. I was out of it. Let a sleeping lion lie. Okay. Let me sleep. I'm up now and I'm ready to wreck some shit. Ricky D Hustle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 and 6 week for Ricky D Hustle. J Cam Man, we already went through him. Media Truth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 7 splits the difference. Media Truth continues to lie to us week after week after week. Rich, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good week for Rich. That's a good bounce back week for Rich. 10 and 4 puts him right squarely where he needs to be at 95 and 55. Bronco Kid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 and 5 week for Bronco Kid. Not bad. Mike Lowry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's the number? 9, right? Piss Cup is at 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. It just missed out on it, Mike. Mike Lowry at 6 and 8. That's, boy, when you under 500, that's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. Commander E. What y'all was copying off each other paper or some shit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, next door neighbors, and y'all got the same record. Y'all both lost 8 games and went 6 and 8. What y'all copying off each other paper? Hey, let me see what you got. Let's compare notes. Major Tutty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 8 and 6 week for Major Tutty. Tyrant, 78, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So an 8 and 6 week for Tyrant, 78. Matthew Lynch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 7. 100 grand. 1, 2. Whoo, wait a minute. Time out. Let me get a 30-second. This is a lot of red. Hold on a second now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo! You better watch yourself. Let me count again just to make sure I'm not tripping. Did this man just drop a dime on us? Time out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! All right, soon to you off the hook. You can thank your man 100 grand strong. You know, I used to have a little cutout of Calvin peeing, right? I need to go find that cutout. That was the piss cup signal. When you go piss cup ultra, you got to have the little Calvin pissing. I'm gonna go find it right now. I'm sorry, guys. I got to do this. It's 10 in a week where there's 14 games is nasty work. Something has to be done. Let's go ahead and get this done real quick. All right. We gotta make sure that it's public knowledge that you wet the bed. When you get a dime piece like that dropped on your head, ain't no way that nobody's beating that. You can't. I refuse to believe that somebody's gonna beat that. I just find that hard to believe. I thought 9 was gonna be the number. I never thought anybody would get double digits. But here we are with double digits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that it is abundantly clear that you are pissy. All right. And here we go. All right. So we got it done. All right. And I am going to add this. Import. No, I don't want to import. See, insert. Image. Overcells. Browse. And I am going to get the piss cupper out. And we gotta add him in here. This is mandatory. From now on, if you got the Piss Cup Ultra, you gotta have this guy. Taking a nice whiz on you. Because that's ultra status. There we go. There we go. All right. So now we got the Piss Cup. Oh my God, that's a 10-piece. He dimed us. You know what? And as an ode, I'm gonna go and see if I can't find that clip of 100 Grand talking about how easy this shit was early in the season. See if I can track that down. My guess is I won't be able to, because I could barely find it the first time. You know, I'm terrible with this social media shit. I'm not even gonna front. I ain't gonna even hold you. But I'm gonna see if I can't track this down, because this is hilarious. Let's see. See if I can find it. So many people send me things, so it's easy for everything to get lost. Let's see if I can run up on it though. Come on. I apologize. Y'all know I'm petty, man. Y'all just bear with me. Here we go. I think this is it. Hey, shout out to 100 Grand, man.
I'm coming back, brother.
Oh.
I'm coming back. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm coming back. Come on, dog. We don't do that over here. We rep it. I got a crown to defend. You don't got to worry about that. I will be back, brother. Oh, and I'm a glow too. I got to tell my brother-in-law, I'm a glow too. That's what we do over here. Yes, sir.
He said he was gonna be back. So that was the soundbite he sent after he beat me up in week 1. Sent me the how it was so easy, and then I started clobbering him after that. I don't know if he's had a week that he's been better than me since, and that was the clip. So I'm glad I found that one. That was the clip of him talking trash in response to what I said, the next week or whatever. He said, I'm a gloat too. Hey, 100 Grand, man. Never change, bro. Stay pissy. Never change. No, seriously, don't change your clothes. Stay pissy. All right. Because I don't think you're getting company here. I think you got to bear the brunt of this piss by yourself. Because this is not just any piss cup. No, my friend. This is ultra, 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 ultra. See, King of the North, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 and 6. King of the North is having a really good season. 95 and 55. Not a great week, though. Big Time was a piss cup recipient a week ago. See if he bounced back or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite. Or as I like to say, hurts. Not exactly. Not exactly. 7 and 7 split the difference. DMVJ 93. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it looked good. It was a lot of white, and then boom, you hit the red at the end. 9 and 5. Navy Ramjet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 and 6 for Navy Ramjet. Not bad, not good. Billy Bronco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yikes. 6 and 8. Under the Mendoza line, Samuel Pando. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like the growth I've seen from Samuel. Remember, he was the punching bag early in the season. I mean, he was just as pissy as they came. And I think since like week 4, he's gotten his shit together. And Sam has been in there, man, just fighting. I like it. I like the growth. Mr. HTTR. I know a lot of people that would have quit after the 3rd week of getting beat up on. Not old Samuel. I love it. And he's gotten better. Mr. HTTR. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a 6-piece after being pissy last week. Not great, but it's much better in a far cry from where you were a week ago. Cody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 7 for Cody. Split the difference. The Mendoza line. HTTR Carson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 and 5 for HTTR Carson. My guy Derek B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yikes. Ouch. Yikes. Yowza. Let's see. Bet the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 for bet the board. And he's at 96 and 58, 8 and 6. So bet the board is having a hell of a year. Hell of a year. We already did Smack City. Gridiron King. 1, 2, 3. Woo. That's going to be your high point man for the week at 11 and 3. That puts him at 96 and 54. That is some good shit there, brother. I must say. That is some excellent work. That Vikings pick, that's the difference between you and I. And that's a hell of a pick. I've never thought Josh Dobbs was beating the Saints, but I told you something's wrong with the Saints. Something's off. Something's amiss with them. I don't know exactly what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something isn't right there. Metaphor is where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoo! Let me count one more time to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boy. You were close. Yikes. 5 and 9. Ouch. Hype do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 and 6 for Hype do. Who's actually having a really good season. I didn't even realize Hype do was at 96 and 54. Yikes. Actually having a really, really good season. Soul, we already talked about Soul. Rick the Ruler, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 and 5. I didn't realize you were doing that well. Fit 94 and 56. I guess I was so focused on how bad I was doing that I didn't notice how good some of you all were doing. Jordan Jones included in that. I knew Jordan was doing well, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 5 for Jordan Jones, 95 and 55. He's turning a hell of a year. It's Jordan Jones. And Dandrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 and 5 for Dandrix. So there we have it. We got our color for the week. Once again, Smack City still holding down first place. J Camman still holding down second. Soul is in third place all by their lonesome. And Smack City is the only participant to hit the century mark in wins this season at 101. J Cam Man knocking on the door at 99 victories. And Gridiron King, your high point man for the week, 11-3 for Gridiron King. Meanwhile, 100 grand. Piss Cup recipient. Not just any Piss Cup. Piss Cup Ultra. Ultra! 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 At 10 losses. 4-10. Come on, man. You've been here before. This isn't new for you. You know how this works. You've had the Piss Cup multiple times this year, okay? Come on for it, man. Take a knee. You know how this works. I don't even got to give you the speech. All right. I know. It's a lot of piss. I get it. And it's very dark. I get it. It's very acidic. Yeah. You don't have to give me the whole speech like you gave me last time. Just gobble it down, man. I'll come back and check on you in a little bit. So that was week 10 in a nutshell. Week 11. I haven't really looked at the sheet yet, to be honest with you. I typed it up, but I don't really remember a lot of the picks. I do remember the 3 primetime games, and those all look good. I think this is going to be an easy week, though, because I'm thinking about some of the games in my head, like Dallas and Carolina. I say this like my team is capable of blowing anybody out, but the Giants and Washington, I think these are games that even if you don't win it, we should all have the same picks for the most part. There'll be 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 games that may be the differentiator when it's all said and done. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to the comment section before we get out of here. Silver V. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Silver V, writes, "What's up, Louie T? Who would you give Coach of the Year to if both Vikings and Texans make the playoffs?" I think it's DeMeco Ryan's job award to lose at this point. If he made the playoffs, it's a done deal. Even if they don't make the playoffs, but they finish 8-9 or 9-8, like, who thought the Texans would even be in this conversation? Like, are you serious right now? Kevin O'Connell won 12 games last year, 12 or 13 games. Like, yeah, they started off rough, but they were supposed to be a better team than what they started out at. They couldn't stop turning the ball over. So I think this is by far and away one of the easier awards to give out right now. Kevin the PRF writes, "I hope Joe Burrow has crushing loss after crushing loss, retiring ringless, and someone spills ketchup on his gold jacket just before his speech. Not that I'm salty or anything. You should be more upset at Tyler Boyd and not Joe Burrow, okay? Burrow didn't play his best game, but when they needed him the most, he stepped up and he delivered the perfect ball to Tyler Boyd and he dropped it. And with that drop went your survivor pool. You and like 3 other people. So you're not alone. But I've been there. Last year, I went on an epic rant on the Denver Broncos and Nathaniel Hackett. So I've been there. At least you made it to week 10. I was eliminated in week 1 last year over that bullshit. Anyway, Niners fan says, Chase gave us a spark, Lou. Also, Wilkes coming down from the booth, getting more creative with the defensive line and formations really helped us. Well, it's a lot easier to get creative when you got more stuff, more ammunition, more bullets in your gun. He's not the only guy that's come down from the booth. I don't know if that really has an effect or not. I'd like to think you can see the game better from where they were sitting up at the vantage point of up in the booth. But I think there is an energy that's created when you're down on the sidelines. But that's not for everybody, obviously. Niners fan writes, we don't necessarily need a podcast, but you've got to give us your money picks of the week, man. Missed those last week. Yeah, man. I hate not giving those out. So I'll give you an example of why I hate not getting those out. I made a mistake on the sheet this week, and it's not the first time I've done this season where I've made a mistake with my picks. So what I got to do now, and I realize this is what I have to do, right? I have to do what I tell you guys to do, which is submit your picks through the Google Doc, right? Don't like normally I just take somebody else's pick, copy and paste, and then I change the ones that don't align with mine, like to make it fit my sheet. But in doing that, sometimes I will gloss over the picks and not change one of the picks to what my pick actually is. So I did that this week, right? And my whole, you guys who have been watching know that shit's just been crazy this week. You know, my kids weren't supposed to even be home. Me and my wife were supposed to get a weekend all to ourselves. And then my daughter got pink eye, or like she was starting to get pink eye. So I didn't want to take her around any other kids or my mom and my dad or anybody else. So we just left them at home. So the weekend didn't go the way it was supposed to. They were sick over the weekend. It got worse on Sunday night going into Monday. And so I'm running on fumes right now, even as I sit here. I was supposed to get a podcast out. Then the podcast changed to, all right, let me just get my videos out, my picks out. And I couldn't even get my picks out, right? So I didn't notice that I had made a mistake with the Jets. So I had, the sheet said Jets when I first put it out, which I didn't pick the Jets. And anybody that watched my overtime show, you know, because I was live during the Jets-Raiders game because I was doing the Washington overtime show, or the post-game show, rather. Y'all saw that I was rooting for the Raiders. So clearly, you know, I picked the Raiders to win the game. Not going to be rooting for the Raiders, and I picked the Jets. I picked the Raiders. So I didn't realize that I made that mistake until the picks were sent to me. Big Baller Blake sent me his picks on Friday. So I'd seen that. I made the mistake on Friday when I put his picks in, but I didn't upload the sheet until what? Monday, I guess. So that's on me. I should have uploaded the sheet immediately and changed it. But I didn't do it until Monday or whatever. But I trust me, I picked the Raiders, right? I just want you guys to know. And I hate when I don't get my picks out because then it looks like I just did some funny business. And trust me, I would never, ever cheat. Like, I'm super competitive. I want to win, but there's a line that you don't cross. You know, that's what you teach your kids. That's what you do. You make sure that they understand that there's integrity that you have to keep. And I would never jeopardize all this that I've built over $1,000, or in the case of the weekly pick'em pool, $85. I'm not jeopardizing my reputation on a pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So I like to get my picks out just so you guys know exactly what I did, so it's on record. And I hate when I don't do that, because then even if I make a mistake, because it's human error, it looks janky. So I got to do a better job of trying to get these picks out somehow, some way. Last week, it was damn near impossible because the kids were home. They weren't supposed to be home. They're sick. Then my wife got sick. So I'm the only one in the house not sick. And you get where this shit is going. But I felt confident in my picks last week. And it proved to be like everything hit the way that I thought it was going to hit. Except for Minnesota. That was the one that, like, I knew Baltimore could lose to Cleveland. I didn't think they were going to, but I knew they could. I didn't think Buffalo would lose to, you know, the Denver Broncos, but everybody had that. I'm not tripping about ones that everybody's got. I knew everybody was going to have Baltimore. I knew everybody was going to have Buffalo. The Minnesota Saints one was the one I was like, come on, bro. Really? Seriously? You're going to do that to me? Everybody had Cincinnati. I wasn't tripping about that. I knew I was taking those 3 L's with everybody else. It's the ones that are the swing games that can hurt you. Tennessee and Tampa Bay and, you know, Washington, Seattle, which I would gladly have taken an L, pick Seattle. But Raiders and Jets was a big one on Sunday Night Football. You know, needed to be on the right side of that, and I was. Arizona and Atlanta was a really, really big one. Really, really big one. I knew that was going to be a swing game for me and took care of business there. Kyler Murray, shout out to Kyler Murray getting it done on that 3rd and 10. You know, there were some people that in Indianapolis and New England was a big one. Carolina Thursday night with the Bears was huge because those games could go either way, right? So a lot of swing games. I got all of, for the most part, stands for Minnesota. I got all of them right for the most part. So I feel good. Now I just got to build on that, right? But yes, I got to give out my money picks of the week at a bare minimum. I want to get back to the point where I'm getting my podcast out on Friday. But if I can't, at a bare minimum, I got to get my money picks out. And I told my wife, I'm like, I need to get this video out. And she was like, bro, I just don't have it in me. And I was like, I get it, so I had to take the L. JCamman99 says, do you think Josh Dobbs is for real with the Vikings? That was the most surprising game of the week for me. The Bills-Broncos game was the most, and the Texans and Bengals were the two surprising games for me. I wasn't surprised because the Saints, something's off with them, and I keep saying that over and over again. I wasn't shocked that they won. I was shocked that they were up 24-3 at halftime. That's what surprised me. But that ultimately was an 8-point game, right? That's what I thought it would be. And if the Vikings won, okay, because something's amiss with the Saints. So, anyway, JK Man. Oh, he says, I went to that Monday night game we don't have to talk about. I've been waiting to hear about your Bills from you. I've been hearing from other sources. Buffalo pregame is somebody that, usually shows up after these. I want to hear from you. That's who I want to hear from. How you feel about all this. How you feel about your offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, getting fired. I know you weren't the biggest fan of him last year, but I think he's been being scapegoated. That's my personal opinion on that. But you've seen the video. If you haven't, it's available. You can see it. You can watch it. I had a whole podcast segment on that. So anyway, JCamman99 writes, your boss man story reminded me of my tailgate. My uncle was 100% sure that he could see the planet Neptune in the night sky when it was clearly Jupiter. You got to love people who can't just admit that they were wrong. They got to swear you up and down that you're wrong. And they try to, justify their wrong answers. I'm like, bro, just let it go, bro. You had a rough go of it. It's been a rough season for you. Just let it go. Eric Sunderland writes, I deserve a sip of that for that 9P. He says, I deserve a sip for that 9-piece. 100 grand, thank you for your bad pick generosity. You damn sure do this. First of all, while you on the subject, man, I'm glad you brought him up. Hey, 100 grand, how we coming over there, man? Yeah, that one, that piss hits a little, I told you this, a little bit spicier piss there, because that's ultra, It's almost like there's Michelob, and then there's Michelob Ultra. there's piss, and then there's Piss Cup Ultra. That piss is going to hit a little bit different, right? That's just going to hit you back here a little bit stronger, right? And it's going to give you a harder gag reflex. So he's struggling right now, but hey, you've been here before. As we mentioned, you've been here before. You know how this piss thing goes. So you just take your time and get it all down, man. Eric said he should get a sip. You should get a sip. You had 9 losses. He probably should, but that's a different one. You're not in Piss Cup Ultra territory, so you don't want any parts of this. Eric Sunderland writes, I was starting to hype myself up to chug that piss. Yeah. That's some mental gymnastics I never want a part of. Okay. That's some mental gymnastics I don't ever want a part of. Seriously. JCamman99 says, if 100 grand goes yellow again, you need to sing that Enrique song. We getting close to that territory, man. We getting real close to that territory, man. Well, we got to dance, 100 grand, dance. We getting close. We not there yet. Almost. Oh, I got some supers. I didn't even know. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, Lou, any DNs coming out this year that moved the needle? I've heard some names. I don't know these guys. I won't know them until the season, though. I told you, I'm gonna keep it above. I'm not a big college football fan. I watch just enough to be dangerous. I don't become a college football fan until the season's over and we get to the playoffs And I know what these teams are doing. I take a peek, see at what they're doing, but I'd be lying to you if I sat here and act like I know these college players and what they're doing. My fun comes in watching the film, and then the real college football fans, because I'll say something like, man, I ran into a guy indirectly, this number 81, and they're like, bro, that's such and such, man. You ain't know he was a beast. He been killing it for 2 years. No, I didn't know. Sorry. I don't watch enough college football. So apparently Penn State has a dynamic pass rusher, Chop something, right? UCLA, UCLA has a pass rusher that's supposed to be pretty damn good. So yeah, there's some dudes. Reportedly, there's some dudes. I'll be the judge of that. Silver V, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, super chatted about his rookie year, saying Herbert's career will mirror Stafford's in Detroit. We'll have to relocate to get a real chance for a ring. I can't put that on him right now, but you may be on to something. You may be on to something there. I don't want to put that on him right now because the Chargers actually have a really solid roster, and if they get the right coaching staff in there, maybe shit could change. But it's feeling real Staffordish right now. You may be on to something there. Double up, for Silver V, and double up, for Reedy Davis. If you're doubling up, who writes, should DN or tackle be the first pick? I mean, honestly, if you're not in the top 10 or 12 or so, usually by pick 14, that's usually the cutoff for me every year. If you don't have a top 14 pick, or you don't trade into the top 14, all of the best tackles in the draft are usually gone by the 14th pick in the draft. That's what my research has shown over the years. If you don't go get your tackle by pick 14, all the good ones that are worth having are usually gone by then. I think Washington's going to end up with a pick outside of the top 14. I think they're going to be with like the 15th or 16th pick or something like that. Because I think they're going to win 7, maybe even 8 games this season. So that's going to put you right in the smack dab middle of the draft where theoretically you don't really want to be. It's no man's land. So I think you'll be out of a place where tackle makes sense. The value just isn't there, and you may have to go in a different direction like tight end or defensive end. If that's, and again, that's if there's value at the end as well, because those go quick too, right? Those go quick as well. Let's see. JCamman 99 writes, who would have ever thought Vikings and Broncos would have had a good matchup? I was just telling my buddy, we were talking on the phone, and I said, 3 weeks ago, Vikings, Broncos, we were desperately trying to get them to flex that out of there. Now we're like, hey, just leave it alone. It's fine. It's fine. One's riding a 4-game winning streak. The other's riding a 3-game winning streak. So just leave them alone. They're fine, right? We already read that one. Red Ball Manders writes, Bryce Young always looks like somebody is touching him, bro. Carolina doing him dirty. I told you that O-line isn't very good. That offensive line is not very good. They didn't do enough. It's tough to put a young quarterback like Bryce Young in the situation he's in, but generally when you're number 1 overall, this is what happens, which is, it's a great honor that that's bestowed upon you when you're the number 1 overall pick. A lot of expectations, a lot of money, all of that goes with being the number 1 overall. But generally, that team is number 1 for a reason. Now, the Panthers were not the number 1 overall pick last year. They traded up to number 1. But to get to number 1, they had to give some shit up. And the shit that they gave up, the draft capital, but most importantly, DJ Moore, put them in this position. And then the philosophical approach that they ended up going with, I think, is what ultimately has hurt them, because they had a coach in Steve Wilkes last year, interim, that had established an identity with the players that they already had on the roster. And had they kept going in that same direction, adding Bryce Young in, they would have been just fine. But you bring in this pass-heavy approach, this quarterback-centric offense with Frank Reich, and you don't have any weapons and your offensive line isn't good enough to withstand, it puts your young quarterback in quite the quandary. And that's what's happened to this point, which is really disappointing. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, if we're not top 14, then we should go DN or best available. And that's what they should do. Don't reach for a tackle if the value isn't there. You know, we need blue chip players, period. I'd say that every draft, right? If you're not in a position to get to marry best available and a need with the value in the first round, then you got to go elsewhere. You got to do something else. Jordan Jones says, how do you think the Bills' offense would be without Diggs? Bad. Really bad. I don't think that needs to be elaborated on any further. Really bad. JCamman99 says, oh, well, I'll just read it anyway. There it is. There's the Louie T Live. I thought I saw it in there. Here's how I feel. The window is closed. It's over. On to the damn draft. Maybe the Bills can get a receiver to actually complement Diggs. I didn't want to believe the Gabe Davis slander, but it looks like it might be real. Looks like it might be real. Anyway, I digress. 100 grand. We good? Hey, what did I tell y'all about that? If you got a mouthful of piss, just wait until you swallow all of that before you try to talk to me. I don't want any residue. You remember Jamie Foxx in his stand-up special where LL Cool J spit on his lip and he was like this? I don't want to be like that. Can you just get all of that down first? Just show me the cup. You don't have to say anything. I don't want to smell your breath. It's a little corner in there. Just after you finish swallowing that, knock that corner back and we good. So we can get out of here. Come on. There you go. You got it. Nasty. Go ahead and hit that corner, man. Stop playing. Uh-huh. Good. All right. Yikes. We'll get this from J-Cam Man and we'll get out of here. If 11 men are on the field, Dorsey is still there, but they had a players-only meeting, which may have resulted in the Bills taking the ball first. Maybe firing Dorsey helps. I doubt it. They did. They brought that up during the telecast. Like the Bills have always deferred and they took the ball first. And then I guess this is Dorsey's fault that James Cook fumbled on the first play. Guess that's Dorsey's fault too. But anyway, I digress. You guys get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll do this again next week. Kickback is always fun. 100 grand. If you out there, man, I'm saying though, Piss Cup Ultra, bro. Ultra. Y'all stay safe, and I will see you guys next week, same time. Not necessarily the same day, though. Hopefully, we can get our schedule back to Tuesday. This is a little rough on me, but this week has been rough. So, anyway, you guys have a good one. See you next time.